today I want to talk about things that you guys need to do before you decide that he's the one, before you actually decide to choose a man. 3 action steps, okay? 3 things you need to do. And I'm also going to give you a few scripts for if you are dating somebody, you're not sure where you stand, maybe you have great chemistry, maybe you've been dating for a few weeks, for a few months, whatever it is, and you're not sure about where it's going, okay? So I'm going to give you some scripts for what to say. Okay, so 3 things to know. The first thing to remember is your standards come first, then it's his level of investment, then comes the commitment piece, okay? And one thing that's really important to remember is you have to separate your vision for a relationship from who he is. So you need to have a vision for what sort of relationship you want to have. So maybe it's how you want to feel in a relationship. Maybe it's your vision for how you want, how every day is going to go, how you want to be supported in a relationship, what sort of things you want to do together, right? That is your vision for your ideal relationship. So that's over here. And then there's the guy that you're dating or will be dating, right? And the question is, does he align with that vision? Because he has his own goals, personality, ideas, values, lifestyle, everything, and what he wants. So does he want a commitment in the future? Does he not want a commitment, right? Like he has his own vision, and that vision is completely separate from your vision. Who he is and your vision, okay? Those are 2 different things. So it's really important that for you to know what you want and not necessarily to project that onto him. You have to ensure that that is what he wants. That's what he wants, and only then you can create something together, okay? So know your vision, and then know that he is a separate human being. He may not be the one that is good for you, all right? Okay, so his personality you want to look at too, right? His personality, does it really fit with what you need in a long-term relationship? Maybe it's good for somebody who you want to hang out with in the short term, but is he really good for you in the long term? Okay, that's an entirely different question. All right, so those 2 things may not necessarily align. Know what you want from a relationship, and then look at who he actually is, which is over here, okay? And just because you want to be in a relationship doesn't mean that it needs to be with him. Doesn't mean that he is the one that's going to give you that. Even if you guys have been dating and the chemistry has been great and the conversations have been amazing, the intimacy, whatever it is, right? If all that stuff has been great, doesn't mean that he's going to be the person that can give you what you want in the long term, okay? So the other thing that I think is really important to look at, what is your goal and what is the promise that you are going to make to yourself? Because based on your past experience, maybe you've decided that I'm not going to be with someone who's emotionally unavailable anymore, okay? I'm not going to allow myself to feel a certain way anymore. I'm not going to be with someone who makes me feel a certain way in a relationship. I'm not going to do that anymore. Okay? Or I'm not going to be with someone where I'm walking on eggshells, or I'm putting in 90% of the effort and he's putting in 10%. Okay? Maybe that's your decision, but it's really important to make a decision for what you are not willing to settle for any longer and stick to that decision. Make that a promise to yourself. Very important to do that. Okay? And it could be that you're not going to let a situationship go on for another 3 months, 6 months, a year. Right? Like I am no longer going to do that. I'm going to do something differently this time. Okay? Make the promise to yourself. All right? The next thing. So you separated your vision for a relationship from who he is. The next thing to remember is you have to look at his level of investment, and you have to look at that that is more important than how much you actually like him. Because you can like him, you can think that he's the most incredible man, you've got all this chemistry, you're so attracted to him, but if he's not reciprocating, he's not giving you the level of investment that you want, he should be automatically disqualified. Because what that means is there is someone else out there waiting for you that is going to give you that level of investment. So if he can't, he should be gone. He's not the one. Okay? His level of consistency, if he's not showing up for you consistently, big red flag, okay? Major red flag. How much you like him, right? There's all these factors, like how much you like him. Great, you like him a lot. How much chemistry you have with him. The chemistry may be off the charts, you know? How funny he is. It could be, oh, he's so funny. He makes me laugh. This is so great. We have such a great time together. Maybe it's his credentials. Maybe he looks good on paper. Maybe it's what your parents always wanted for you, or maybe it's what you've always envisioned, right? And now there's this guy and he ticks everything off, right? Okay, that's great. But if he's not showing up for you in the way that you need, all of that doesn't matter. He's disqualified, okay? Completely. So his level of investment is key. You have to look at his pattern of communication. Is he making you feel safe and comfortable consistently? Then that is a major green flag. That's a sign that you can go ahead, okay? That there's potential there for that relationship to become something bigger, all right? When it comes to being vulnerable, are you able to be vulnerable? How much are you able to open up to him and get the response that you want from him? How much is he willing to get vulnerable with you? Are you guys willing to go deep? That is extremely important, because how you're going to feel, how this guy is going to make you feel, is going to be the most important thing. Okay, it's going to be extremely, extremely important. Okay. The other thing to look at is your relationship evolving, right? Is he making clear and obvious steps to move your relationship forward, or does he have one foot in one day, one foot out the next day? Okay, so that is extremely important. Okay. All right. So the other thing is, if you're dating somebody and you're not sure of where you stand, it's important to have a conversation at some point, all right? You need to have the conversation about what is happening. So because you know what your vision is, when you know what your vision is and what you want for a relationship, the feminine energy approach is to lean back and decide that this is what I want for my relationship, and he's going to decide what he wants. But I'm going after that vision regardless of whether he's the one I'm going to do it with. I'm going after that because this is what I want. All right? So how do you have a conversation with a guy that you've been seeing? Maybe it's on and off. Maybe it's been a few months. Maybe he's telling you all these wonderful things. He really wants to be with you. Or maybe it just feels like you guys are together, but you're really not because you haven't had the conversation. You don't have like that full commitment. Okay, here's what you can say to him. I really enjoyed the past few months with you, and I feel like we've built something meaningful. I know that I'm looking for a committed relationship where we're both investing in something for the long term. This is what you say to him, all right? Because you tell him, you are letting him know that you have your standard, and your standard is that you are looking for a committed relationship and you want something for the long term. And that standard is separate from your relationship with him. Like, this is your standard. This is what you want. You are going after a long-term relationship with somebody who truly wants to be with you. And you're letting him know that, right? You're not really putting the pressure on him, because if he wants that, okay. If he doesn't want that, okay. You're going to find it with someone else. But this is your standard, okay? So that's what you say to him. And he can say something like, oh, I feel the same way. I love spending time with you, right? And if he tells you, yes, this is great, I want to be with you, I want to move things forward, amazing, right? Another thing you can say to him, for me, commitment means being with somebody who's also excited to build something that is lasting and intentional. I'm not looking to rush anything, but I want to be with someone who wants the same thing as me. And I'd love to hear where you're at and what you're looking for too. Right? Again, you're letting him know what you want. This is your standard. This is what you want. What are you looking for? Are you on the same page? You need to know if you're on the same page with somebody, because if you're with them for like 3, 4, 5 months and nothing is changing, you've got a problem. Like, you really need to figure things out, because you don't want to keep wasting your time. All right? If he says something like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for the next step. Or one thing that, guys tend to say is, I really like how things are going. Things are going great. Basically, he's saying he wants to keep the status quo. He likes how things are going. Let's just keep it at that, okay? This is what you can say to him, right? First of all, you have to respect his decision, because he has a right to make that decision. He has a right to decide that he doesn't want something for the long term, right? He's just enjoying things the way they are. But again, you have your own standard. There's what you want, okay? And that is more important than whatever decision he's making. So you say to him, if he wants to keep the status quo, I get it. I respect your decision. But for me, commitment is the ultimate goal. And I want to be able to give 100% of my time and energy to someone that is ready to reciprocate that. That is what you tell him, all right? I would love to explore what we have, but if it's not something that is aligned with you, or if it's not something that you're ready for, then I'm going to take some space and I'm going to focus on myself. Because this is the thing. If it's been 3, 4, 5 months and you're still in the same place and you have this conversation and he tells you he's totally okay with how things are, with keeping things as they are, you do need to take space. You need to take some time apart and go figure out if he's really the one, if you really want to keep wasting your time with this guy. And the thing that this is going to do is, if a man is really truly invested in you, he really truly sees the value that you bring to him, first of all, you now have his respect, because you've expressed this boundary, you've expressed this need, without putting this direct pressure on him, right? You're expressing, this is what I need, and if you can't give this to me, I'm going to take some space. If this is what's going to happen, if he really values you, he's going to realize that, oh my goodness, I am about to lose her. And if that doesn't make him realize that he needs to step up, that tells you everything you need to know. That tells you that he is not the person for you. He just told you that. You're telling him it's been a few months, he still doesn't know whether he wants to be with you, and now you're telling him, okay, well then maybe we need to take some space and I'm going to focus on myself and pursue what is important to me. You're telling him that, and he's still not realizing that he needs to crack down on this, right? Then you know that you need to move on. You know that this is really somebody who is not afraid to lose you, okay? And you deserve so much better than that. And that just tells you that you need to move forward, okay? Otherwise, it's going to be another 3, 4, 5, 6 months, another year of your time, right? So what I wanted to say also is that if you want to have that conversation with a man about where we stand, and you approach him by saying something like, hey, you know what? It's been a few months and I just want to know where we stand, or I just need to know where we stand because I don't want to waste my time, right? Or you tell him this on the first date. I just really don't want to waste my time. I've had all these bad experiences in the past. I just need to know what your intentions are with me. If you say it this way, this is very different. This is a very different approach than the one that I shared earlier, because this puts pressure on a man. This is like coming from a needy energy. This is coming from the energy of I just need to take from you. I just need to know, I'm not this is not a high value approach. All right. It's not a feminine energy approach, because the feminine energy approach, the confident, high value approach, is to lean back and come from a place of trust. Trust the fact that this is what I want. I'm going to express it to him. And if he's not ready for it, I trust that the universe has my back. I trust that God has my back. I trust that whoever I believe in has my back. And I trust that this is not meant for me, right? So I'm not going to put pressure on him. I'm not going to pursue him hard. I'm not going to chase him. I'm going to express my standard to him. So you don't want to say hey, I just want to know where we stand. I don't want to waste my time. That is really it comes from this needy approach. It's a very, very low vibe approach, okay? Very low vibrational energy. So it's not a good approach. So this is what I always talk about, how you express your intentions, how you communicate your standards and your boundaries is extremely important. It's going to change the way that a man responds to you. It's going to change how he perceives you. All right? So you always want to come from that feminine energy approach, from that relaxed and trusting approach. All right? Full of trust. You express what you want, but you know that you're not going to wait around for him because you have needs that need to be met. You have needs that you want to meet, okay? And if he's not going to give you that, you trust that somebody else will, and you're ready to move on because you're putting yourself first, all right? Like I said, how you're going to communicate with the man is going to be extremely important because men pick up on it. This is something you're struggling with. Definitely check out the course, Magnetically Feminine Boundaries. I created it just for this. There's over 100 phrases of how you can talk to a man, how you can confidently set boundaries, how you can flirt and, separate yourself from everybody that he's speaking to, how you can make a great impression, how you can have these conversations so that you get clarity and you do not waste your time, okay? If you want to dive even deeper and you're tired of situationships, come work with me. I'm opening up a few spots for coaching, one-on-one, just you and me. I'm going to be here to support you, to hold you accountable, give you exercises. We're going to walk through everything, your entire dating life, the beliefs you have. My son is going to be 5 years old in 1 month, and my daughter is 18 months. And I cannot believe how quickly the time has gone. And I've been thinking about the fact that time goes by so fast. And we think we have all this time and we think that, 1 year is so far away, but before you realize it, that year has passed. And I have been in this position where I have to crack down on my goals and my vision and the things that I want because literally time goes by so fast. And so I really encourage you, if you want to work with me, come work with me because literally those situationships, those, the relationship in and out, emotionally unavailable, those patterns, they're difficult to break out of. But if you're working with somebody, it's so much easier. And I don't want you to be in the same place in 3 months and 6 months in 1 year, okay? And if you want to be in a different place, then reach out to me, DM me, send me an email at hello@wealthywonderwoman.com. I would love to support you. I have a couple spots opening up for coaching. We can work together for 3 months, 6 months, longer, whatever you decide. And I would love that. So that's all I have for today. Wow, my baby girl has not woken up yet, which is amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. I'm going to save this live. And if you're interested in working together, please reach out to me. I will be back in the future for more lives and more videos. And I will talk to you soon. Mwah. Take care. Bye.